explain about the environment. It is one item that's very important for the cultural responsive classroom that belongs to this one. And the cultural responsive environment is a place where the teacher prepare an interactive environment that fosters children learning. And as you know that we are Regional Inspire Center, it means the environment is a third teacher. You organize it, you do that intentionally for the kids to explore more and experience what we are doing now here, down there. So first one, but for the cultural responsive environment, it's a little bit the same, but we need to think about, it needs to be the same environment for them first. And when they feel safe, that can allow them to feel invited and respectful and welcome. Let's talk about the Chinese girl, for example. If you have a Chinese girl in the classroom and they are new here in the US too, and they cannot speak English well, and the parent cannot speak English as well, what are you going to do? And then in your classroom, and then everything's new to her, everything's new, and she just like, she's so scared, and she doesn't want to do anything because she doesn't feel safe. And then good idea if you can have, like, if you have something familiar with them, you can talk to the parents. And if you cannot talk with them, have somebody talk to them, like to help you to communicate with the parent, to know maybe you can let her bring something from home that's familiar with her, and then you can decorate something about their culture in the classroom. Make them feel something like welcome first, invited first. And when they feel safe, they can participate more in the classroom with the activities. That's why the more important thing is feel safe. And next one, when they are safe, you can arrange more activities to support for them, and then they can engage with the activities you are doing. If it's not safe, but they will be very scared, it will be so stressful, and maybe there are a lot of behavior can come in. And the other kid will watch that and see what's going on, and then we cannot do anything. Next one, a cultural responsive classroom should be the place offer the instruction which allows scaffolding for the children to be able to participate in the activities. It should be the interactive learning, and sometimes you give structured learning for the kids, but sometimes it should be unstructured because they need a space for themselves to, to explore by themselves or to explore with the peers rather than with the teacher. It should be the different one because the teacher are different, the children are different, and sometimes they need some, own space and own time. It should be unstructured and structured teaching. And learning theme is about the curriculum. We are doing the project approach downstairs, which means it's very good for us because we can choose the topic that relate to the culture equally in the classroom. Why I said that it's equally here? Because they can make a positive feeling for the children, because they can see their culture and that encourage their learning. If you have 6 kids come from the different culture in the classroom, you cannot, I love Chinese, so I will do everything about Chinese in my classroom. I will do everything about Chinese project. Sometimes I do Chinese food, sometimes I do Chinese animal. Is that fair for the other kids? No, because you also have some Indian kids, or you can have some Mexican kids in the classroom too. So if you have the different one, like they come from the different culture, it should be equally for the topic you choose, for the project you are doing, because the kid will learn more things from the different culture as well. And then they know that, the teacher recognize everything and value my own one. That's how you respect them as well, and how you respect the family. And that's one big thing they can learn from the literacy, because when you create the project related to the culture, it would be very helpful if you can have something labeled in their language. You can display in the classroom as well. For example, if you have Korean kids and then you are doing music instrument with the kids from Korea, you can have the bilingual. You have one in English, one in Korean. Don't worry if you don't speak Korean, because you have Google now. And then it's Google Translate. For some very simple word, it will be correct, so don't be worried. So if they see something familiar with them, that's good for them to feel, like belonging to the classroom. That's the more important thing. And then you can use sign language as well. If you don't want to use their home language. Okay, next one. I think it's very important part because that's how the culturally responsive teachers should use for their classroom. And it will be very difficult for them if they have too many kids from the different culture. If we say, oh, I'm exhausted right now from the classroom, why I have to learn new things? Like languages, it's too difficult for you to learn a new language. You cannot master that. And how come if you have to study Chinese, Korean, Malaysian, Indian, Spanish at the same time? No, you cannot do that. You are not like, I don't know, but to me it's too difficult. I cannot handle them all. Even I have some support. So we need just know some basic thing, and then we can discuss with your college. When you have meeting, when you have professional development, you can discuss with them. You can seek for help, and you can get consultation from your director, administrator. That's a good way for you too. It means you doesn't have to do it yourself. When you don't have any ideas, you can seek for help. And I believe that they will not judge you like, oh, why you have to ask this question? It just means that you are a teacher and you are ready to learn. And you do that for the children. So it's a good thought, I think. And one more thing is about the resources. If you cannot get that from the director, from conference, from professional development program, you can seek for help from the resources in the community. As I know that here in Chicago, there are so many embassies. They have the cultural center that support everything like this. If you don't know that, you can contact with them. They have people over there. When you do the activities, you do the event, you can invite them to come to be the guest speaker. Or you can ask them, okay, I have the parents come from the country and they need help for this. And then it will be it will be the bridge to connect the parent, the family with those people. And then that's very good resources for them. And next one is about the family, yes. Why we need to build very good relationship with them? Because everything we are doing now is for their children. We need good relationship with them, to share with them what we are doing, and to learn from their kid, because they're their kid, and then a lot of things happening at home you don't know. So if we have good communication with them, it will help us to have the good strategy, and then prepare and plan the good curriculum in the classroom to make for them to be successful at school. But if we cannot speak their language, and then they have language barrier, again, we can do like some activities for them to invite them. First, make them feel welcome, invited like their children. If you have something like Cultural Day, and then they will be the guest speaker, or they can come to do some activities, or International Day, they have a different booth, and then they can represent for their own culture. They will be proud of that. And then also, if you have the different parents, for example, you can introduce them with the parent from the same culture in our center. You can find maybe Miss Joy have one kid from China, and then Miss Christy have one kid from China. You can introduce for them. Oh, and that's a good way for them to make connection too. And then they can have maybe, I don't know, but our center, we don't have like PSO, parent social organization or community. But in my school, I do have that for China. We have that for Vietnamese, we have that for Korean, Japanese, different ones. So even orientation, we do it in general. And we also do the specific for nationality. Like we have a lot from Korean, we do that separate for them. And we do that separate for the Japanese as well. Next one is about communicate effectively. I know that we do have newsletter, text or phone call sometime, but some parents, like I used to have a kid before, her mom cannot speak English very well. So of course we have maybe, when we send newsletter, we can do the other one with their cultural, their language. I think we help her a lot, but make it simple question, and we don't have to translate it ask her, go to Google Translate, because we make it like very simple sentence, so she can do that with Google Translate. That we have them too. And when we initiate the event that relate to their cultural experience, and then provide them some, because we are bridge and we can connect them with the embassy and cultural center, that will be very helpful for them, and they will be they will appreciate what we are doing a lot, because they know that you're helping them. And for implication, everything I just shared with you, we need to know that yes, cultural matters, cultural differences. It matters because it affects the children's learning. It matters because it can help them with the social emotional development. It can help them with the cognitive development and language and linguistic as well. And for the teacher, we create the cultural responsive classroom is for the sake of the student, but it also for our sake too. Why is that? Because we should be less biased. We should evaluate ourselves, we should open our mind, open our heart to give them more, and then to prepare for them more. That's what we are doing. If we are doing that, I believe that there will be less misbehavior, misunderstanding in the classroom, and there will be no stress, and then everybody will be very happy. And then when we care for the children, when we care about what we are doing, why we are doing, and we care about the parents, we help everybody, we will create the triadic relationship here. You can see that our job now is to connect and to help the child, the parent, and we can create the triangle relationship. That's very stable, and that's what we are doing to make the children be better and they can be successful at school. Thank you. Now comments and questions.
That was awesome.
Nice job.
Very, very
Good.
good.